Hello, Worcester. I'm Seth Rosenthal. It has been called the Fall of Rome, the start of a new chapter, a complete and utter disappointment. I, of course, am speaking about the spread of COVID-19 and the related school and business closures. Right now, I'm coming to you from my own front porch as I speak with local college students on how the statewide closures have affected them. Roughly a month ago, the story was similar across the country. Students were asked to leave their physical campuses and complete their spring 2020 semesters through online classes.
The main thing that I would say is difficult is finding the motivation to do the work since I'm not seeing anyone face to face.
Honestly, I'm doing pretty all right with it. I had the privilege of most of my courses are lecture format anyway, which has not been very hard to convert into online format because my professors are still just giving the lectures, they're showing slides on their screens, and then we're using the raise hand feature to interact pretty much normally. However, I am very good friends with a lot of students involved in the theater and art departments, and witnessing myself, like the difficulties in converting that is stressful to say the least, because like those classes just do not translate. The advanced improv class in particular online is an intriguing experience. I will say that from what I heard, the students and professor are doing an amazing job effort-wise, but it's not practical.
It's so much more annoying to do online classes because everyone expected to do them in person, so it's sort of all the professors have to change their schedules and everyone else has to adjust what they're doing as well to accommodate them being at home and not necessarily having the same resources.
I think that it was the correct decision to close most of campus without closing the university, and I think the university did a really great job of communicating that. The fact that when the closure was first announced, that classes were moving online, that activities were canceled, and that they were requesting us to move out of the dorms, but the meal services were continuing, the registrar's office is still open, the Neller was still open for a little bit, the AC was still usable for at least 2 or 3 weeks.
But I do know a couple people who are actually staying in a monastery, in Worcester, just because they don't, they can't get a ride, they can't get transportation, or they don't have a safe household. So I know a couple people who are still in Worcester, even though they did live in different states originally.
My biggest concern when they were discussing the possibility of closing the university was income for myself and a lot of student workers. At the time of the closure, the next day we were very relieved to see an email that specifically said student employees their jobs will continue. So admissions is still open with ambassadors, the escort service is still running with those students. The only real section block of student workers that have been impacted is the Clark Arts and Event Proctors, because all events buildings have been closed and all events have been canceled, and that's a block of about 20 students that I happen to be heavily involved with, and we're kind of scrambling to either find alternative work or find out if we can get work, and we've gotten some mixed signals because essentially the university promised that we would still have work but has not given us any.
We closed a couple weeks ago, and then last week we actually had a confirmed case of a staff member with it. So it's a good thing that they closed it down when they did, because now there is the virus on campus, but I really miss all my friends.
Now, most universities have released statements that they are taking the campus closures on a day-by-day and hour-by-hour basis. However, many are unsure if they will be able to reopen their campuses and residence halls for the fall 2020 semester. In a recent email from Clark University, based in the Main South Worcester neighborhood, President David Angel stated, "As has become increasingly clear, the COVID-19 pandemic will be with us for an extended period. Clark's administration holds that its priorities are students first and their well-being." WCCA will continue to bring you developments on university campus closures as they become available to us. With WCCA Programming News, I'm Seth Rosenthal. Stay safe, Worcester.